Welcome back. Kind of a quiet night tonight, and instead of sitting around twiddling my thumbs, I thought I'd try making another video talking about how I take my photographs and move them to leather. First, I'll take the photograph, adjust it to a black and white. In Photoshop, you could use GIMP or some other software if you have a photo you want to transfer. And I'll adjust the shadows and the tones so that I can see the lines. And then I'll print it out on a black and white LaserJet that I've got. It's a simple brother, but it works real good for other things also that deal with leather. So we're going to look at an image that I'm starting. This is an image I took of Mabry's Mill in Virginia. I've already brought it into Photoshop. A lot of my toolings I try to keep to a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. One, I don't have a lot of wall space, and it works for me with the size and the frames that I can get inexpensively. When you look at this, you'll notice that I've opened up the shadows. I've made them brighter in these areas. So the photo's very flat, but yet it allows me to see all this detail to transfer. You've probably noticed the tape here. What I do is I tape my black and white photograph to a blank piece of paper on the back. Then I'll take carbon paper and I'll take it with the shiny side up and put it into the paper underneath. And then I'll start tracing out the lines. Doing a simple fence post, because the reason I do this, you could take this image, put it on your damp leather and do all the tracing, and that's good. But by doing it this way, it allows me to take this image, transfer my lines, and I've already done some of that, and I'll show you what it looks like. By putting the shiny side of the graphite up, I get the marks on the photograph side. By doing that, I don't have to worry about making sure my bottom piece of paper stays lined up with the top so that it's registered correctly. It's always registered correctly. I could take this bottom piece off, put it on another piece, and put the carbon paper back in. All my lines are going to be exactly where they need to be from the front. By doing it this way, I can take this image, take a picture of it with my cell phone, send it to myself through email, and bring it into Photoshop. And then I can adjust it. like some of the lines that I've overrun or something, like right here, I can turn around and erase these parts of the line and here with Photoshop. And the advantage that I've got when I do that, I've got a pattern from now on. So if I ever want to try it again, I don't have to go through all this trouble of tracing the pattern again and deciding which lines I think are important. We're going to flip it over for a second. You will notice that the image is a reversed image horizontally. Okay? See how that looks? So when I bring it into Photoshop, I flip it horizontally, and then it's back to looking like this. For me, this is the best way I've found to make patterns and transfer them, because I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer for 43 years, 43 years roughly. And my passion is images. Leatherwork started because of a family illness, and it has blossomed. It's turned into a passion where it doesn't take much room. I don't have to leave home, and I can turn around and use all those images I've taken and put them on leather. And a black and white image transfers beautifully to leather because it's line and shadow and light and dark. And with leather, you're working with lines and light and dark, because where is the antique staying and which areas are staying bright? Like this piece right here. These barns were darker in the photograph. There was more shadow here. The church was white. Well, by putting a texture on, it made it look more like barn wood, and it also held back some of the antique that actually makes the leather look darker. Do you notice how the church is lighter? That's because there isn't as much texture. I put a hint of texture for the clapboard, but even in the photograph, you really don't see the clapboard because the way the sun was hitting the church, it was illuminated, so it was glowing. Same thing with the grasses. You're creating texture that's capturing the antique. The more texture you create, the more antique's going to stick, and the darker it's going to be. So if I really wanted to darken this up a little bit more, I could swab on antique right in this area a little bit heavier, and then let it set longer to get a little bit darker, and then wipe it off. So leather and black and white photography, in my opinion, they go together, like Mutt and Jeff. Um, my love is black and white. Color is good, but like, I'm trying to remember which photographer it was. It might have been Ansel Adams, or it might have been one of the older greats, but with black and white photography, you're distilling your photograph down to lines, lightness and darkness, and composition. Your photograph isn't carried by color. And this is just my opinion. In photography, a lot of times, color will carry a photograph that is compositionally lacking. But I did this same method to make the pattern that I tooled this off of. I hope this helps you a little bit with transferring your patterns, because it is a time-consuming process to do this. And I really only want to do it once and have it whenever I want to do it again by just hitting the print button and printing it out. And I can share this with other people if I choose to. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I don't believe in keeping secrets on how things are done. It's probably one of my pet peeves, is when that's done. Thank you for spending some more time with me, and have a blessed day.